Everybody, Picky Old Gamer here, and you ever been on YouTube and just kind of look around and go, you go look at this thing, and then of course it leads you to something else, and then you got a pattern. You start looking like the favorite, all these type of movies or TV shows that you've never seen, like the intros. And I was doing that with game console boot ups or startup screens. You know, I was going to show you the NES. Oh, the NES doesn't have one. I think the Sega system, the Master System did. The Sega had them on the cartridge when it showed Sega. And I actually remember watching a video where they showed every boot up, and it's kind of cool. But I was going through and I started to give you my top 5 boot up screens of all the consoles. Now, I didn't do any handhelds because the handhelds I had Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Advance SP, DS, 3DS. They're good. I think the Game Boy Advance and probably the original Game Boy are a classic to me. The rest of them were okay. Also, Neo Geo's not going to make it into this list. It wasn't a console that we could all own. I mean, now you can, but it's still expensive. So Neo Geo's not here. Even though I love that intro. Dun, dun, dun. Pro Spec 330 meg. I love that. But so let's take a look at number 5. Yeah, you know, the GameCube. I mean, it was a simple system. I wasn't really a fan of Nintendo 64, and I won't get into you flame wars about that, but the GameCube was awesome. And a neat, simple little just logo, you know, dropped down and walked around and it created the GameCube logo. If you held the Z button, you got some kids and laughter come through, and you held the Z button on 4 controllers, you got an oriental kind of sound come in. So you could like change it. It was kind of neat. Very simple, very straight to the point. The Nintendo 64 one was pretty good, but I just didn't really have that system as much, and really it just didn't sit with me. It's good. It's a good one. It actually, if I had top 6, it would have been number 6. So, you know, let's move on, and I'll show you what's number 4. Yeah, the two boot up screens. I went ahead and showed both of them. I mean, the 360 at first had that little X that came down and slammed into, you know, which is really the center button. It's pretty neat. It was a good one. I started really liking I like all those little ribbons coming in. I liked it even better though. The first one is still good. It's a simple, easy to get into. It's not too, you know, not overly done. And Microsoft has always had good boot up screens, except for the Xbox One. It's just like ring, comes in and just sits there, and then you have the ungodly boot. Especially if you know, you turn these things off. I don't really keep them in power save modes. It sits there, and it's just like, it's an okay boot up screen, but it's very boring, and it just sits there booting, and whatever. So let's move on to number 3. Well, I just kind of maybe spoiled it, but let's see what it is. Number 3. They have the OG Xbox, original Xbox. Really simple, but it had really powerful. It was really, you know, in your face. You saw this little pulsing. I don't know. I still don't know what energy. It was like it's in a lab or something. So, you know, kind of like the feeling was the Xbox came out of, you know, this experiment, which it really was. It was really neat. It's in your face. It was cool, short and sweet, and really the Xbox One is short and sweet. It just sits there and loads because it's just really simple. So, you know, that's the first 3, now we're leading to the last 2. The last 2 are simple, and they have really it's the music or the sounds. To me, I call haunting. It's just really neat. It's just iconic. I can hear them in my head, think about them all the time. It's just like memories. So let's move on to number 2. Yep, the Dreamcast. Really the only Sega console I ever owned, which is crazy, right? It's just weird that it happened that way. But that intro is very simple. It's just like they're spelling out the letters, and then it does it little pinwheels, little spin, and that sound was really haunting. I really liked it. It just grabbed me. I was like, wow, that was short, sweet, and to the point. I really liked it. Kind of like the Xbox, all the Xboxes. But it doesn't compare to number one. And I say that only because I love the Dreamcast. The number one, a lot of people say, what is the best boot up? And you see people tweeting this all the time. And it's just a classic boot up screen. And it has really haunting, kind of like really impactful like music. And it's short and sweet to the point, but it's really good. So let's take a look at number one. What else can you say? There is no PlayStation. That is the best intro. Just that sound, just the boom, it comes together. You see Sony Computer Entertainment. And then as it sits there, if you didn't have a disc in, it went to the menu. So you look at your memory card, all that other shit. But if it was trying to check the disc, it'll sit there, then and it shows the PlayStation. You know how it can sit there for a little bit? It's actually reading the disc. It's actually a disc check part of it. So yeah, you could tell a disc they were having problems. It hung there, but I love that boot up. So, you know, this is not a comprehensive, and you know, I don't have the Saturn, I didn't have the Saturn, I didn't do any handhelds, because they're not, other than the Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance, really the Game Boy is classic. Just come down, ding, and right there. That one would be on there if I did all the systems. And I would, if it was a system that I just didn't classify is not ownable at the time, the Neo Geo would have been on there. So I love the Neo Geo boot up, especially the original 330 meg Pro Spec boot up. But those are my top 5 boot up screens from consoles I've owned. What is your top 5? What is your number one? What's the boot up screen that just makes you say, oh, that was awesome? Leave me some comments below, and somewhere there's a subscribe button. Please click subscribe and share this video. Follow me here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, skirmishfrogs.com for retro, and you find them on 8bitkitty.com. Big Gamer.